The Titanic was a passenger liner, a British passenger liner, which sank off the coast of Newfoundland on April 12, 1912. 1,500 passengers died, many of whom were some of the wealthiest people in the world at the time. Many of the other passengers included immigrants from Ireland, Britain, and Scandinavia. At the time of its maiden voyage, the Titanic was the biggest ship ever built in history. It was built by Harland and Wolff Shipyard, and Thomas Andrews was the naval architect. During its maiden voyage, it carried 2,224 people. Though there was only enough lifeboats for slightly over 1,000 people. So when the Titanic hit an iceberg off the coast of Newfoundland, the hull buckled, and 4 of the 16 watertight compartments were flooded with water. The ship gradually started to fill with water. Many of the passengers and crew started to go on the lifeboats, but they realized there wasn't going to be enough for everyone. The ship's captains instituted a women and children first protocol, which meant that many of the men on board the Titanic never went on board the lifeboats, and many of them drowned. At 2:20 a.m., 4 hours after the Titanic hit an iceberg, the ship broke and floundered into the sea. Many of the surviving passengers waited in the freezing cold water, hoping for rescue. At 4:20 a.m., 2 hours after the ship broke, the RMS Carpathia came and took aboard 750 survivors. The Titanic crashing was one of the worst commercial disasters, maritime disasters in history in peacetime conditions. Due to this, there was a lot of shock and outrage throughout the world. This led to many maritime regulations being put in place, including the International Convention for the Safety of Life at Sea, which is still in place today. The Titanic is remembered and is one of, if not the most famous ship in history. You can read about it in books, through museums, folk songs, and in movies, including the very popular hit Titanic by James Cameron. In that way, the crash wasn't in vain, as many regulations were put in place that helped save many lives in the future. Thank you.